Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now just 60 plus days away from its official release by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, as well as creator George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, with that being said, we do know that this film, at the end of the day, is going to contain many different twists and turns, as well as surprises in this film that will lead to saga-wide implications in the entire Skywalker saga by J.J. Abrams, which may be a good or a bad thing, depending on how it's all going to be executed on the big screen and how it will resonate with fans once the film finally arrives this December of 2019. Now, on top of all of this, we do know that JJ has a plan in place in order to make this the darkest Star Wars film there is, ever since, of course, Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Now, moving past all of this, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, shot descriptions consisting of a sequence where it's explained that both Rey and Kylo Ren are said to be holding hands, where they are said to be inside of a strange environment that is primarily of a blue hue with canyons in the background. It's explained that both Rey and Kylo Ren are in the netherworld of the Force that is initiated by Luke Skywalker's Force Ghost, where it's described that in the sequence, both Rey and Kylo Ren begin to hear a strange voice that sounds like an old, wise Jedi. That Jedi is actually said to be Anakin Skywalker, offering a lesson to both Rey and Kylo Ren about the Beyond and the Chosen One prophecy. It's explained that Anakin unveils to both Rey and Kylo Ren that the Sith were created as they know them, to be after discovering the power of the Beyond and the seduction of its power, where it's said that Anakin begins to tell Rey and Kylo that it was also the Beyond that allowed the midichlorians to exist within the entire galaxy, and that additionally Anakin mentions that the Chosen One prophecy remains past himself in order to destroy a great evil that he has dealt with before in the past. It's described that Anakin makes a revelation that the Chosen One prophecy was meant to carry on to another to destroy the Sith once and for all, 30-some years after the events of Episode 6. This all alludes to Palpatine's return and how Rey and Kylo Ren will go up against him. Anakin in the sequence is best described to sound far older than how he was in Episode 3, and sounds more similar to Sebastian Shaw's voice of Anakin/Vader. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, the thing about this particular scenario is that the netherworld of the Force, alright? Now, they tapped into this a little bit in Star Wars Legends, especially in some of the comics in the 90s and the early 2000s, you guys may recall, that in there, we even had moments in which Yoda was actually seen within the world of the netherworld itself. We actually got to see what it looked like, and it seems like JJ is staying true to how it was actually perceived by the fans back in the 90s and the early 2000s, where it did in fact have a lot of canyons, where a lot of blue hues and white colors were actually seen. It was a very strange looking environment for the netherworld. So that's what JJ wants to do. He wants to give us this different realm, this different side of Star Wars that fans have never seen before on the big screen, in order to really differentiate this movie from, of course, all the past 8 Star Wars films, which sounds very ambitious of JJ, but at the same exact time, you know, depending on how it's all going to be done on the big screen, you know, a lot of fans may or may not agree with it. It all depends on how it's going to be worked together. So that's one thing to actually keep in mind of here. So with that being said, Episode 9 is also going to be a movie that's going to introduce the Chosen One prophecy that will be extended in The Rise of Skywalker. So that's another thing to keep in mind of here. This moment in which we have Anakin's Force Ghost reaching out to both Rey and Kylo Ren, literally talking about the Chosen One prophecy and how it's all meant to be expanded and pretty much moved on to another, alludes to either Rey or Kylo Ren being the new Chosen One. Now, a lot of fans, I will agree, that a lot of fans out there probably don't want Rey to be the Chosen One, and I could totally understand that because, after all, she is not a Skywalker by blood, at least that's how it's made out to be as of right now, and that it should be Ben Solo at the very least, at the very minimum, it should be Ben Solo because he has that mighty Skywalker blood, as Luke said in The Last Jedi, right? So you can really see where things are going, because the Chosen One prophecy seems like it was never complete, it was never pretty much, you know, put to an end, and now it is actually going to be put to an end at the very end of The Rise of Skywalker. And the fact that the Sith were all created due to the seduction of the power of the Beyond is a very interesting side of the story by Anakin's Force Ghost that he tells both Rey and Kylo Ren while they are in the netherworld of the Force. So basically the Sith actually had a great divide with the Jedi, all because of their thirst for power of the Beyond, which is said to be a power far stronger than the dark side itself. So the Beyond is said to be the very origins of the dark side. It's said to be the most powerful force nexus there is in the galaxy, hence why Palpatine resides over there in the unknown regions, which is why he's going to become very powerful in episode 9 at the very end of the movie, where he's going to do something with both Rey and Kylo Ren. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again. No.